Okay, we're back.
You mean we're starting? We didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we're starting.
Yeah, it's not like we came and left and came
Well, we're
back.
back
No.
from the last episode. In case someone is binge listening to these episodes, we're back.
I love Binge, the book by Tyler Oakley.
Oh, what is it about?
I never read it. It's an autobiography.
You can't just say you love something when you haven't read it.
I mean, I say I love a lot of things I don't necessarily love, so.
Like
Hi,
me.
relatives.
Oh! I was gonna say like me.
Who are you?
I'm your podcast co-host, Matt
Why is
Kubek.
Jackie texting us? Oh, they have a fever.
Oh,
Hold on,
I
Jackie,
told them this was gonna
we
happen.
are recording. Don't interrupt. I spelled Jackie wrong.
I told them this was gonna happen because it's the same exact thing that happened to me and to Troy and to other people. I don't know if it happened to you. You never got a fever?
No, but I was constantly taking Tylenol.
That's true.
So
Okay, anyway.
I probably had one, but just didn't know.
Hi, Pat. This is the What Did the Gays Think podcast. I'm Matt, and
You didn't say your traditional opening line.
what's my opening line?
Like, here we are. What do you say? Here we are?
Here we are. No, I say
we are.
welcome back to another episode of the What Did the Gays Think podcast. I am Matt, and today with me I have my Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, Pat. How you doing, Pat?
Do you like the pumpkin versions and the ghost versions and the Christmas? No?
Ghost version? Wait, hang on. What's a ghost?
Don't they have
version?
like a ghost? Like it's like a pumpkin thing. It's like but a ghost shape.
No, I've never heard of that one. If anything is pumpkin flavored,
No, it's not
I don't
pumpkin
like it.
flavored. It's just the Reese's that are in different shapes during different holidays.
Oh, I mean that sounds fun. As long as it's still a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, then I will eat it.
It's still a
obviously.
Reese's. Yeah, it's still Reese's.
I have this. This is terrible. From last Easter, I have this 1 pound Easter Bunny Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. 1 pound, and it's sitting on my desk. I never ate it because it's 1 pound of Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. What? How am I supposed to eat this? It's huge.
You've eaten more than 1 pound of food before in one sitting, I'm sure.
It's 1 pound of Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Well, if you want diabetes,
that's a lot. That's a lot of Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That's very insensitive to people who have diabetes.
No, it's not. I'm not making fun of them for having it. I'm saying if you eat a lot of sugary foods, you might get diabetes. Yeah, that's what they say.
Where's the proof? Where is the proof in the pudding?
Here, let me Google.
I did do the intro.
High sugar diet cause diabetes. Let me see. You're more likely to get it if you are overweight. You gain weight when you take in more calories. So sugary foods and drinks contain a lot of calories, which could lead to excess weight gain, which can lead to the development of type 2 diabetes.
Can I say something? Let's get personal, real quick.
Okay.
Sure. I've been working out again.
Cool.
For the millionth time, me saying I'm starting working out again. And I think I've said this before, but working out is ass. It's terrible. I hate it.
So you must love it.
No, well, I mean,
But then it should be something
ass in
you
the
actually
bad
hate.
sense. Okay, fine. It's Republicans.
Great, that's a better description.
Yeah, it's so bad. Just like especially cardio. Like I can do weightlifting. Weightlifting is fine. But as soon as I get on that bike and I start going for like more than 10 minutes and I start dying, I hate it. So if anyone out there is a physician or like a physical person, tell me, how do you get through cardio workouts? Personal trainer?
I think you just have to suck it up.
But it sucks though. It sucks.
Yeah, but like get over it. There's nothing to do to make it better except keep doing it because it'll feel easier.
But does it actually get better when you do it?
Yes.
Or do I just get used to it?
That's one and the same. Like when I started running.
No. Do I get used to feeling like shit and it always still feels like shit? Or does it actually stop feeling like shit?
No, it'll stop feeling like shit because whenever you push yourself to do something new physically, it's going to always feel like shit. And then you get comfortable doing it at the rate you're doing it and it doesn't feel like shit. And if you push yourself more, it's just a constant elevation.
Constant cycle of feeling terrible because if you want to get more fit, you have to push yourself harder. But if you push yourself harder, it's the same feeling of feeling like shit.
Yes, but there is the sense
Such is life.
learning to enjoy the process.
Learning to
Now,
enjoy the
let me ask
pain.
you this. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why are you working out?
Because I want to be fit.
Why?
Because I don't want to die early.
Okay, great. But are you in a situation where you are physically like unhealthy to the point that it's detrimentally affecting your health, you think?
I have high cholesterol.
Okay.
And
Well,
working out
cardio
will
will
help
definitely
that.
help you with that. Yeah.
Exactly. And I hate it. This is where I'm going with this. I hate
Well,
it.
if you
Being
also
healthy is
include
hard.
diet changes, it'll help even more.
Well, listen, I'm working on that as well.
Oh,
I
great.
did some meal prep, and that was okay. It took a while, but that was okay.
I mean, listen. I mean, meal it the solution to eating well doesn't always have to be meal prepping. You can
I
still
didn't say
eat
that.
well without it, but you always seem to turn to that because every time you say, I gotta change my diet, it's always, I'm going back to meal prepping. It just seems like that's the default answer.
Well, yeah, that's the default answer for me.
Right.
The reason being is because I can bulk make a healthy meal for the week on one day and then not have to worry about it
Mm.
throughout the week because I have this thing probably called ADHD in which I don't want to do things. So if I ever have the chance to um if
Interesting.
I ever have the motivation to do something, then I have to take advantage of it and do a lot when I'm feeling motivated or else I just won't do things.
Yeah. Normani,
Normani?
the singer who sings motivation.
Okay. Anyway, what's going on with you? Let's
Do
talk
you
about
ever know
you.
any references?
No.
Okay. Um, I think I also see working out as Republicans because I ignore it.
Mm,
After my
I
latest
see.
LSD trip, I really feel good about my body and
I
just
love
don't
that.
want to work out.
Right. I love that that process right there. After my last LSD trip and how casual that
Well,
was.
because that's the thing. It was something, it was a realization that everyone has. It's a very common thing, you know? You should always feel more
An
comfortable with
LSD
your
trip?
body.
Oh.
No, 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 no. You should always want to feel very comfortable in your body. And the reasons usually why we don't are societal, because society
Oh
portrays
yeah.
certain body types as attractive, particularly in the gay male community, and we're forced to feel inadequate if we don't follow those body types.
Yeah.
So obviously, I knew that before the LSD trip, but I was only in a headspace willing to accept it as true because I was in an altered mental state. So having been in an altered mental state, I now haven't, I look in the mirror and don't even like, I don't really pick at things anymore, which is very healthy and very helpful.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And I found that, and I knew this before as well, but didn't want to accept it. The only way that you either change your diet or change your workout experience and stick with it is if the goal is if the goals that you want are not such frivolous things, such as I just want to look hot.
Mm.
Like looking hot is great. And looking hot or quote unquote hot from society's point of view will happen as a byproduct of working out and eating healthy. But
Mm.
that isn't a strong enough motivation to keep me consistently doing those things. So I need to
Right.
find the right set of circumstances, the right set of motivations for those things to happen naturally and for me to enjoy the process. Because I don't enjoy the process of working out, much like you described. It's not a pleasant process. So you have to find a way, a set of circumstances, a setting, a reality in which those things are an enjoyable, revisitable process.
Yeah, there's those people that say like, "Oh, once these people have been working out for years on like a daily
Yeah.
basis." And they're like, "If
Yeah.
I don't work out, then like I feel terrible." And I'm like, "How do
Right.
you get to that place?"
Yeah. It's kind of like, well, because like with me, I have a very strict uh skin routine when I wake up in the morning and when I go to
Yeah.
bed for my face and my body because I moisturize my body. But you know, if I don't do my face routine in the morning or before I go to bed and I continue with my day or go to sleep, it feels awful. Like
Well,
I
you
don't
got used
feel
to it.
good about my skin. I don't feel good about like, I don't feel right unless I've done it. Same thing with brushing my teeth. If I miss brushing my
Oh
teeth,
yeah.
ugh, ugh,
Yeah.
ugh, disgusting. So it's just, but I've been doing it for like over a decade now.
Yeah, it's
So it
become
makes
part of
sense.
your routine.
So you push hard enough, eventually, you know, you
I
get
can
into
never get myself there. But we'll see. We'll see.
Also,
Um,
it's super unfair that working out does not produce more visible changes faster.
yeah, because you have to do it for a long period of time, and the changes are so gradual that
Yeah, because like from what I've seen and what I've heard from people, like losing weight, losing fat, losing body mass
yeah.
can happen at first fairly quickly for some people,
Mm,
and then it gets slower and slower over time. But the development of muscle is a much longer process.
yeah, it
If
takes
you
a
have good
while.
diet,
Yeah.
if you have good exercise, you can lose weight, not like that, not the drop of the hat, but you can lose it pretty good and pretty consistently. But the development of muscle and the development of muscle in the way you want it to develop. Do you want lean muscle? Do you want bulky muscle? Do you want to cut so
Mm.
the muscle's more visible? Those things, honey, get a book because you're going to be there for a while. Read books because you are going to be there for
Read
a
books while
while.
I'm working out. I could do it on
On
my
the bike.
bike. Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about just going on my Switch while I was biking.
I thought about that too. I was like, maybe I could catch some Pokemon while I'm biking, and I decided not to. But
Well, I mean, I'm on the bike just like gripping the fucking handlebars going, when will it end? When will it end? Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get off the topic of physical fitness because I'm sure the gays listening to this don't necessarily want to listen to this.
We're the only gays listening to this. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not true. Anyway, anyway, everyone is getting sick recently. I don't know if you've noticed. It started with you getting me sick, obviously, when
Well,
you,
I made out with you. I'm sorry.
yeah, you made out with me in my sleep. Again, this is the second time you've done this.
I just like to dip my tongue in just a little bit, like. Meh.
Meh.
It's not even making out. I just literally like.
Yeah, vomit,
Yeah.
which is what we did. And then my boyfriend got sick, not from me though, unless it incubates for 3 weeks, because that's how long it was between my sickness and his sickness.
I'm gonna guess no, but maybe.
I think it's too long of a period of time for me to have gotten him sick. I think he got sick just from because everyone's getting whatever this is.
Yeah.
And then it's always the same progression I've noticed because everyone that I've talked to have said it starts out with a really scratchy throat and then it goes into a fever and then there's either like dry heaving, heavy nausea or vomiting and then it's just like complete loss of appetite for like days on end. It's
Yeah.
the whatever this is, it's that same progression of symptoms. And I'm like, everyone's getting whatever this is right now.
Well, if
Maybe
you
we
want to
should
lose
all go back
weight,
to masking. I don't know. If you want to lose weight, geez.
mask. Yeah, I mean, there's all those flu cases in Jersey. Jersey has a huge flu spike. COVID is going back up as well. So
Yeah, and at this point, I was kind of like lax on the masking for the summer, but now that we're once again approaching winter and everyone's getting sick again, I'm kind of like at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna start masking again,
you
um,
had a very femme
basically everywhere.
summer.
What does that mean?
Because now you're mask.
Okay, I get it now.
Thank you.
Funny jokes, funny
My
jokes.
dogs are sick.
Oh, not with this thing going around, I'm assuming.
No, San has 3 parasites.
Oh yeah.
And Kai, I believe, also has it. So I have to send. I'm taking both Kai and Ace's shit to the vet. I called the vet, and this is what I don't. I don't like vets. Honestly, I don't like vets that much. I think it's a weird system they got going on. I think it's way too expensive. I also think pet insurance got monopolized recently, and it really
Oh
made
my god.
pricing for pet
I have
insurance
choice
great.
words about pet insurance, but go ahead.
So I called them and I was like, "Hey, I have 3 dogs. One of them just got diagnosed with 3 types of parasites.
Yeah.
I believe my other dog is starting to show symptoms. She has diarrhea. Is it possible to get the same medication for my other 2 and do it preemptively just to be safe?" She goes, "No, you have to bring in poop in." And then I said to her, "Well, it can take a while for these parasites to shed in their poop. What if it's not there, but then it gets there later and I got to bring in more samples?" And she goes, "Well, if there's diarrhea, there's a good chance it could have shed already," which is true. But then I was like, okay, well, one dog is diarrhea-ing and the other one has solid poop
Actively.
still. So here I'm thinking, I'm like, great, I'm going to bring these 2 samples in tomorrow. They're going to say the diarrhea one is fine, or not fine, has parasites. They're going to give me medication for it. The solid one is going to be no parasites. And then a week later, I'm going to see that third one have diarrhea. I'm going to bring in poop again. I'm going to have to pay for a third poop diagnosis. Get another, like, go to the vet again, get another round of medication. And I was like, why can't you just do it preemptively? And I was speaking to the register people, the service people at the desk. I wasn't speaking to the vet themselves. I
Yeah,
wanted to be
yeah.
like, can I speak to the vet I was speaking to last time? Because I think she would have been like, yes.
Mm.
But so now tomorrow I gotta bring it in. I'm sure Kai has it. Ace so far, still solid. But
Um, uh,
yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. There should be more preemptive treatments or like preventative treatments.
Especially
And
because we know that one of them has it and they're all around each other.
yeah, and let me tell you, because pet
Mm.
insurance, I was looking at pet insurance recently because I was taking Axel to get neutered, which
Mm.
is something that the vet recommends. At least my vet
Yeah.
does.
Yes.
Um, uh, for a variety of reasons. Now, the thing about pet insurance is that it doesn't cover neutering. No pet insurance covers neutering, at least the ones that I've seen.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, this is a thing that vets recommend for their owners to do, but yet
Yes.
no insurance covers it, and it's $1 billion.
Well, how much was the neutering?
So Axel had one testicle that was in his abdomen and one testicle that was dropped. So they had to make
Work.
2 incisions on him, and it ended up being like 600 or so dollars for both incisions.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I read that spaying can get up to 500. I'm surprised. I would guess because the extra incision probably puts you over.
exactly. There was 2 incisions, and then I got a couple of extra things. Like I chipped him. You know, I pulled a Bill Gates and I put a microchip in him, so there was some additional cost there. Um, uh, so it just was so expensive, and I was like, okay, if I almost got pet insurance to try to cover this, and then I found out that the pet insurance does not cover the neutering. So I was like, why would I get this in the first place? And then secondly, the amount that I would put into the pet insurance is so expensive per month that the amount that I spend on them generally doesn't
Yeah.
like match up to that amount.
Yeah.
So there would
You'd
be
be
no
spending
point.
more on the insurance. Yeah.
Exactly. Than I would be just by regularly taking them for whatever reason I'm taking them, like getting their, yearly shots. Um, and also, pet insurance doesn't cover a lot of preventative things. For example, their heartworm and flea and tick medication. The insurance doesn't cover
Yeah.
that either, and that's another expense that is regular for me. That I'm like, oh, maybe insurance will cover that, and they don't. So I'm like,
No,
what's
no,
the
no.
point of this insurance at this point?
Yeah, I heard from one of the people in the vet's office that pet insurance actually years ago was very cheap and
Hmm.
pretty good. But then recently, a couple of them had consolidated and sort of monopolized the pet insurance game and made it more expensive. I don't know how true that is, but she's in the business, so I assume she know. And also, I still want to know, do you have any vets listening? I know we don't have any vets listening. But if any vet is listening, please explain why all of the gonads are removed instead of just like a vasectomy for the men and tubes tying for the women. Why are we removing the testicles? Why are we removing the ovaries and the uterus? Because when it's, I'm pretty sure spaying is ovaries and uterus, and the neutering is the testicles. The testicles leave. Let me.
Yeah, they're
Why?
gone. They're
Why
gone.
not just leave the testicles, leave the ovary, uterus, whatever, but just tie the? Because I know vasectomies and tube tying, whatever the actual word for that is, I don't know, can reverse, but I don't know. I feel like there's I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of an advocate for the pet, but I don't want to remove organs if I don't have to.
Right.
If I can get the same thing done with just cauterizing a tube so the sperm no longer leaves the vas deferens or wherever it comes from, and the ovary no longer has viable eggs dropping down to the uterus, why don't we just do that? I don't know. I'm not a vet, but I think that's something we should think about. Also, we should stop circumcising men.
Oh, now we're on to humans. Stop circumcising men.
We really have to stop circumcising men. It really is just this weird,
It's a
weird
weird
thing.
cultural thing that sprung up. Who knows where it came from? Honestly, I should look up the history of circumcision and do a segment on the podcast about it.
It's like, why are
It
we
is a little
removing
strange. It is a little weird.
skin from a newborn that has no say in them? Like, what do we do? There's no epidemic of infected uncircumcised cocks. Like, why do we remove it? There's no reason to. It's not
An
like, oh,
epidemic.
literally, like, it wasn't like, oh, about 20 years ago, all these uncircumcised men had a serious infection and died, and we
Yeah,
only found
yeah.
circumcision fixed it. No, it was, I don't.
Mm,
That's a difference. That's a different episode.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Listen, we could talk about that later. What I want to talk about, let's spill the tea a little bit. What I want to talk about is let's give our final thoughts on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, since we did like our initial
Mm,
impressions, and I think we both finished the game now.
we did.
So firstly, how did you think about the three plot lines and how they all came together at the end? What did you think about the plot?
Well, it's not written well.
Oh,
It's not surprising. It's very telegraphed. But I will say, I think Pokemon is moving towards a more like a newer, not only in the overworld and how the gameplay is with Pokemon and Wild and all that shit, but it's moving in a different way with how they plot out because most Pokemon games, the mainline games, are plotted very similarly.
mm-hmm.
You go 8 gyms, Elite Four. There's a bad guy team who's trying to like destroy the world or some shit. You beat them and that's it. So you basically have that in this game, but you have it all deconstructed and moved around and able to sort of do it in any order, in kind of any order you want.
Yeah,
But by the end of the game, you are forced down a very linear path with the last bit of gameplay being one plot line, which is fine.
yeah,
So I liked it. I liked how it made the game feel longer. I liked that I could just pick which one I wanted to do first, and then it all
yeah.
came together, obviously, at the end, in a fun way.
I will say that I liked the plot. I thought it was better than some of the other games' plots,
Mm.
like past Pokemon games plots that we've seen. Um, uh, I didn't really. Let's get into Paradox Pokemon because I'm about to mention it right now.
Mm. Mm.
I didn't like the future Paradox Pokemon. Um, and
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with me not liking the concept of all Pokemon in the future like somehow becoming robotic.
Yes. And then they're not all steel types.
No, they're not all steel types.
I was like, oh, all of them have to be at least half steel because they're all no, they're not.
No,
And I'm like, well, what the
there's
hell
some
is
different
this?
typing. Some are electric types. Some get that electric typing.
Some just are whatever typing.
Yeah, some are just whatever. But I don't like the idea that like in the future evolution would just make everything robotic. Like that does not make sense to me.
I had an idea
Yeah, go ahead.
about why they're all robotic.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think these are Pokemon anymore. I think
Mm,
whatever future is in this future, this game, this storyline, whatever, it's like a dystopian future where all living life is dead and
mm.
only like robotic life exists, and it's just emulating what organic life used to look like with its own
Ooh,
spin.
yeah.
So
Ooh,
I don't think
stunning. Ooh, interesting.
stunning. So I don't think these are Pokemon. Or at least, not in the organic sense. They're like robotic Pokemon for sure, but they're not like this is not what Hariyama eventually evolves into. I think all the Hariyama
Right.
are dead, and the robots were like, "This used to live. I'm gonna replicate it for whatever reason." But
Ooh.
that's just my thought on it because they don't really give you any explanation, obviously.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I didn't like it, but the ancient Pokemon, I did see a couple pictures.
Oh, they're
Um,
lovely.
I do like them. I like the ancient
I thought
ones.
about buying Scarlet.
Oh,
I thought about
that's
buying
out. I'm
Scarlet.
not gonna buy another $60 game just for the different
I
Pokemon.
know,
And
but
that's
it sucks though. Pokemon games never lose their value, so it's always going to be that expensive.
yeah. I was just thinking because you need the ancient Pokemon to complete the decks, and I'm trying to complete the decks.
Yeah,
So
you got to just trade for it.
I either have to trade for it, or I think I was reading somewhere if you like co-op into someone who has the other game, then you can find their Pokemon like when you're in their union circle or whatever. So if like
Oh,
Jackie,
stunning!
oh stunning. So if like Jackie who has Scarlet, if we union
Yeah.
circle into their game, then I think we could
Hmm.
find Scarlet Pokemon there. I'm not sure though. I think I was reading that.
I think I've heard that. I think I've heard that.
I may need to do some fact checking, but I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
Yeah. Can we talk about Area Zero?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, so there was a lot of emphasis on Area Zero being like this weird mystical area, very unknown. Something's at
Hmm.
the bottom of it, who knows? And then the game kind of really went into the whole time machine aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, they built a time machine based on those crystals. I didn't care about that. I was like, let's talk about Area, because okay, there's this genre of storytelling this sort of sci-fi horror, sci-fi mysticism, sci-fi mystery
Mm-hmm.
storytelling that I
Mm-hmm.
really get wet for.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
book trilogy called the Southern Reach trilogy. The first book, Annihilation, was made into a movie where there is this area called Area X where all this weird unnatural phenomenon is happening. It's like a mystery
Ooh.
unraveling about why it is, and it felt whoever plotted this game has read that book because the
Okay.
similarities are frightening. So when did you read the Violet book? Like, did you actually read all the pages
Oh,
in
you
it?
can read it? I didn't even know you could read
It's
it.
if you go to the entrance of the school to the right in one of the bookshelves, you can read the Violet book, and it talks about the expedition,
Oh,
and
I should read it.
it's like some of the pages describe what happened to that first expedition that really went down there. It's creepy. Some of the things
Oh.
they describe. Um, and then one of the pages is all distorted, kind of, and it talks about the potential third legendary. Like, how there was
Oh.
always a third legendary. And the description is weird. And I love that weird sci fi thing where, like, something is like sort of not understandable when it's looked at. Like it's some sort of weird organic life that we visually can't comprehend because it's outside of our realm of understanding and breaks our brains. That cosmic horror.
Oh, stunning.
Cosmic horror. So I was like, when in Area X, I was like, the music was so eerie. It was so like
Mm.
vibrant in life, but the Pokemon were very like strange. I was like, this is really tickling my prostate in a way that it hasn't been tickled before. So I would everyone who has this
You
game,
haven't
go
been with
read the Violet
me.
book. No, I haven't. Go read the Violet book, read about the expedition, read about the weird things that
Or the
happened on
Scarlet
it,
book, I guess, if you have
or the
Scarlet.
Scarlet book, yes. And I didn't care about the whole time machine thing. I was like, let's get to the bottom of like the crystal thing and these weird
Mm.
Pokemon and this third maybe Pokemon. Who knows? I'm excited for what because there's gonna be DLC. There's gonna be DLC for this
Right,
fucking game
right.
because
I
now, yeah,
Yeah, I gotta read the Violet book apparently. I didn't even know you could read it. So I
yeah.
gotta do that.
Where do you read it?
Where do I read it? The Bible. The Violet
The
book.
Bible. I will say, as a quick side note to that, I don't like how I do like how in the old games, most legendaries were completely readily available in the base game, and then there'd be like a
Mm.
ticket for like a third, like another legendary. Like
Yeah.
in Ruby Sapphire, you can get Groudon or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you can get all those legendaries and shit. Um, and like Deoxys was an Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you can actually catch Deoxys. But in the originals, you had to like get a ticket to find Deoxys, whatever. But in the new games, like Sword and Shield, which had the DLC for the other legendaries, and now this game, which I assume will have DLC for the other legendaries, I'm just like, you just want me to pay more money.
I mean, yeah, that's how capitalist societies work. They're just gonna make you pay more money
Yeah.
for other random things.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Professor Turo? Is that his name, Professor Turo? How do you feel about him being AI at the end?
Couldn't care. Don't care, couldn't care. I like that the professor was not involved in the game. Like previous games have always had like some professor you always talk to and shit.
Yeah.
This one he was barely involved, and it was excruciatingly annoyingly easy to tell that he wasn't Professor Turo. The writing in this game is because it's a Pokemon game. Like I can't shit on them for writing, but it was
Oh,
so bad.
like how it was also painfully obvious throughout the whole game from the first Team Starbase that Cassiopeia was the leader of Team
And
Star,
that it was Penny.
and that it was very easy to tell that it was
Oh,
also Penny.
spoiler
Yes,
alert.
a spoiler. If you're listening at this point in the podcast, you know that we're spoiling the end of Pokemon Scarlet and
Like,
Violet.
and I can't. Maybe I guess I don't know if I can fault them because it's Pokemon games, but at the same time, I want to be like, guys, you've been at this for like 20 years now. Like, be a little more experimental with the writing. Be a little more experimental with the plot. Like, subvert us in ways that we're not used to being subverted, please. Like, like I know it's for kids, but you know your audience is also adults, and they're not afraid
What's
to
that?
talk about deep topics. The professor's dead. They flat out say
They
he
killed him. He
died. Killed
died.
him. Yeah.
You know what I thought that they were gonna do for a while? I thought they were gonna kill that poor dog. Um,
Oh yeah, that was heartbreaking.
I thought they were gonna kill that poor dog. Luckily, they didn't. I think I
Yeah.
would have died if they killed that dog.
I thought either the dog would die or it would become a Titan Pokemon because it ate all the herbs.
Oh,
I
interesting.
don't
Oh,
know.
stunning.
Stunning. I don't know why it didn't turn to a Titan Pokemon, but
Oh, that would have
whatever.
been fun. And then you have to defeat it, and then it turns to normal. Oh, that would have been
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, that would have been like the last boss of the Titan plotline.
Oh, that would have been fun. That would have been fun.
I should write
Um,
these games.
Anyway, overall impression of the game. Did you like it better than whatever the last mainline game was? What was the last mainline game?
Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield. Did you like it better than Sword and
Absolutely.
Shield?
Absolutely. I mean, the performance wasn't as good in terms
Wow.
of how it performed, but absolutely, I love it. Sword and Shield was shit. Sword and Shield was reviewed so well, and I was looking around like I was like, did we play the same game? This game is shit. It's shit. The plot, shit. The characters, forgettable. The side characters of this game, I loved them.
Oh, Arvin.
Arvin,
Love
Nimona,
his
and
character
Penny.
arc.
I mean, Penny, yeah, a little obvious, but I love how by the end of the game, when all four of them are walking off the sunset together, I was like, this is a gratifying ending. And I knew all of
It
them.
was
They
a
all have
good
very
ending.
different personalities. They have good impressions, but overall, I liked it better than Sword and Shield. It's not my favorite game. It's definitely has its problems, honey.
Oh, it's got
Problems.
many problems. We talked about them in the other episode. It's got its
But
problems.
I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And now, like I said, I'm trying to fill out the Pokedex, and some of these version exclusives. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get them. I'm gonna either trade or convince one of our Pokemon Scarlet friends to let me into their game, but we'll see.
You get Jackie?
Jackie, are you listening?
What if Jackie gatekeeped it?
Oh,
That'd be fun. Oh, one last thing. Hold on. What do I want to bring up about this fucking game? Oh, shit. There was something else. Oh, no.
does it have to do with the legendaries?
No, although, I mean, I kind of like them. They're kind of fun, actually. I saw the other legendaries in the game. They're pretty fun.
Oh, I
Did
haven't
you catch
seen
the
them
other
yet.
Miraidon?
I did catch the other Miraidon, yeah. I used my
Yeah.
Master Ball on it.
I did as well. I didn't fucking care. I tried catching it with Ultra Balls and it never went in. And I was like, well, fuck you. I'm using my... Yeah, now what? Now what,
Yeah,
bitch?
the other ones, the other legendaries, though, I'm going to have to figure
Yeah.
out how to catch them with Ultra Balls. Here we go.
Do you know how many there are?
I think I read that there are 4 other ones.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any of them, and I don't want to be spoiled on them either.
I will not spoil you, but I like the designs. I think they're cool.
Hmm.
If you take the history class and you get all close with the history teacher, apparently she helps you.
Nice. I think I only did like 2 of the Academy storylines. It was like the nurse and like the director you could get close with too. There's other ones, but I didn't bother with the Academy all that much during the game.
Yeah, I don't really care, but some people do.
Yeah, I don't really care either. Great though. Let's talk about Kanye West.
Oh, can we?
Are you gonna say can we not?
Someone needs to snatch this man and put him away. Someone needs to help him save himself. I mean, there's no saving him, but now someone needs to help save everyone else from him.
Yes. Obviously, most people have probably heard about what happened, but I'll give a short snippet. Kanye West has apparently now, well, he announced that he's running for president in 2024, which is interesting. He had a dinner with Donald Trump to be like, hey, you want to run with me? And Donald Trump was like, fuck you, what?
Yeah, that's what happened.
And also like a known Nazi named Nick Fuentes was also there.
Oh, fuck Christ.
Yes, you apparently just recently learned about Nick Fuentes.
I wish I hadn't. I was like, who is this? Everyone, it's like trending on Twitter. I was like, who's Nick? What? And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't found out because it's miserable information.
Oh yeah, it's not good. There was a rumor going around like a year ago though that he had like sex with cat boys though. I thought that was funny.
Well, now I'm interested. Who is this? I want cat boys. Oh, I love cat boys though.
Yeah, no. I
boys
thought it
have
was a
great-
funny rumor.
Cat boys have great personalities. Like I've never
They
I've
do.
never met a cat boy in real life. I've just seen them on the internet, but like they always seem to have like the most sincere, playful attitude like a cat, I guess. And it's just I want to
Yeah.
know them.
No,
If
they're
you have any
great.
cat boy listeners, please DM me.
Hit me up.
I want to
Come on the
see
podcast.
your cat memorabilia.
But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and then Kanye West like went on this weird media tour with like different right wing I guess political pundits.
Was it Joe Rogan there?
I don't think it was Joe Rogan. I think he went out to the Alex Jones show.
Alex Jones
Was
who
the
just
most
had to pay all
recent
that
one.
money, because of his
Yep.
lies. Yes, yes,
the
yes,
Sandy
yes.
Hook lies. Yep. And yeah, so that one, Kanye West went on that show most recently. He was like wearing a complete mask, like face entirely covered,
Yeah.
and then was just like basically just sucking Hitler's dick the whole time, it seemed. And he was just like, yeah, I love Hitler. Like, the Nazis had a point. Like, Jewish people are terrible. And
Did he say Jewish people were terrible, or did you just say that Nazis were responsible for like great things?
okay, maybe I over exaggerated in what I just said there, but
We should be a little more
he did
specific.
say I love Hitler, and he said I like the Nazis.
Those are direct quotes.
Yes, he said those things.
I mean,
he said Hitler had a lot of good points.
Yes.
He did say a lot of things about like Jewish people controlling banks.
Yes.
These are all real things that he actually said. I don't think he straight up said Jewish people are terrible.
But it's implied.
It's very much implied.
Yeah.
He did call into question that 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust. There was a lot going on in this whole thing.
Yeah.
It was very fun seeing Alex Jones like be squeamish on his own show about someone who's like actually gone too far, according to him.
I wonder if Kanye was wearing that black mask, so if there was a bad rebound to this interview, which there was, he could just go, well, that wasn't me, you didn't see my face. I thought that was going to happen. He's gonna be like, "Oh, did you see my face? It could have been anyone. Someone just intimidating my voice, using my voice."
Oh yeah,
like,
someone created a Kanye voice bot, and that was it was played over in the Alex Jones stuff. That wasn't me, obviously.
I saw comedian Chelsea Handler, who's Jewish, or I don't know if she's practicing, but she was raised Jewish. Say she was doing her tour, and she's like, "There's a lot of anti-Semitism going on," and I just want to say, like, people have been saying that Jews control Hollywood and Jews control the banks, and she goes, well, so fucking what if they do? She's like, the Italians run the mob, something, like, who cares? Groups of people just control shit. No one's getting hurt by it. Let them control it. And I was like, you know what? Work.
Slay.
I love
and yeah, I guess that's a good point, because like a lot of people control a lot of things. Elon Musk controls Twitter now. I guess the real question is, are these people controlling these things with malicious intent? I
don't know if they really do control those things. I don't think they actually do. I don't think there's some grand conspiracy. All I know is he needs to be snatched. He needs to not be killed, not be silenced, not like that. He just needs to be. He is no longer capable of rational thought in any way, it seems. He needs to be taken.
He needs to stop being given a platform. They need to stop bringing him on to all these right-wing shows. Yes. And the reason I say this is because we saw it with gay people. You spread hate against a group of people, and you give it a platform. All these right-wing people spreading hate about gay people, and then that club got shot up. Now they're giving Kanye West a platform to spread his hate on Jewish people. The Jewish people are gonna die. I'm calling it. I don't want it to happen, obviously, but I'm calling it. Jewish people are going to die because
Matt
of this.
Wants it.
I want this. Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, that happens with COVID and Asian people. It happened with gay people. It will happen with Jewish people, and it's upsetting.
And I'm like, what is the point in which we realize now that being hateful towards groups of people, it harms them? Like, when do we realize this? When do conservatives realize this? Because I don't think they have ever realized this.
No, they haven't. I think they do. Well, no, I think they have realized. They just like that,
right?
Because they know it'll rile up their base.
They like minority groups being hurt.
Well, that, and they know that if they have someone really charged and extremist on a platform, it'll get their base riled up to go vote for them so they can get in power.
Yeah.
They don't think about the logical consequences of their actions. They just want to get fucking in votes. In the office.
They want them votes. Any other spill the tea? We could talk about politics next.
Any other spill the tea? No.
Okay, well, why does politics suck? I feel like politics. There's those Georgia runoffs happening in a few days.
With Warnock, yeah.
With Warnock versus Herschel Walker. I think that'll be interesting. We'll see where that goes. I think the major thing happening in politics right now is this whole rail strike thing happening. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, they didn't get their paid sick leave.
They didn't. They didn't.
No.
Biden fucked them over.
Well, is it Biden?
Okay, so the reason I say Biden fucked them over is because this deal that was pushed through Congress, the Democrats purposely split up the bill into two separate parts. One that it was obvious to anyone was going to fail, the paid sick leave. They separated it out so that the bill would pass, or so that the deal
Yeah.
would pass, knowing that
Yeah.
the paid sick leave wouldn't pass. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's Republicans' fault obviously because they all voted against this paid sick leave, but they took
Yeah.
it out in the first place.
Well, they took it out because they knew they weren't going to get anything passed with it in.
Yeah, but then they lose their negotiating power though, because if the rail workers strike, that's gonna force Republicans to have to do something. But by taking it out and then forcing this other bill to pass, they lose all their negotiating power.
But they can still strike afterwards.
But the strike's illegal now with this deal.
But they can still strike. It won't matter if it's illegal.
Oh,
If
they're
enough
gonna
people
lock them all
within
up.
if enough people within a group do either a strike or do some sort of nonviolent, what are they called? Nonviolent
Protest.
protesting, whatever. Enough people do it, you'll get action done because the rails won't do anything because you won't have trains moving. So yeah, it'll be technically legal, but you put pressure that way, you will see something happen. They had to take it out of that bill because it wouldn't get passed otherwise. The bill would have got pushed back, they'd have to renegotiate, and it probably would have gotten taken out otherwise. Blame the Democrats, yes, because they maybe could have found another way to put pressure on the Republicans to include it, but I don't see the merit or what there is to gain by blaming Biden for this. I don't even think if it was directly his responsibility that it was taken out. It was probably the congressional committee of Democrats who were formulating the bill who took it out because they knew it wouldn't pass if it was in. So don't blame Biden for it. I mean, blame the Democrats involved.
It was Biden's initial deal that didn't include it. So this is the whole thing, right? Back in September, Biden struck this deal with the rail unions. And or he didn't strike a deal with the rail unions, I guess. The deal did not include the paid sick time. So the unions, or certain unions, declined the deal because it didn't include this paid sick time. And then Biden called upon Congress like, hey, push this through. And I guess the congressional committee then decided to split out this so that it would pass. But ultimately, the initial deal didn't include what they wanted, and that's why they declined it in the first place.
Well, I think that it's far more empowering to put pressure on Republicans now and to blame them for this than to blame the Democrats. Because if Republicans had just voted yes, like any decent human being with a soul.
Oh, absolutely. Obviously, Republicans at the end of the day are to blame for this.
Everyone should have paid sick leave. Everyone from a McDonald's employee to whatever other higher position you want to think about. Everyone should have paid sick leave. Of course, there should be probably ranges of sick leave you can have, like how many days or whatever, sure. Everyone should have some form of it. It's ridiculous that you are penalized financially for something you can't control.
Oh, absolutely.
So these soulless Republicans who voted against it should burn in hell forever, if hell was even a real place, but it's not, sadly.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to vehemently blame them, and if anyone has any sort of relatives, or if you are a rail worker yourself, put pressure on the Republicans that may be in your district, your senators, your congresspeople, and go, you fucked me so hard with your nasty little cut 1-inch cock. You should get the fuck out of here. Because all Republicans have 1-inch cocks. I just want everyone to know that.
All
it's
of them.
a stated fact that all of them have these nasty, mangy, raggedy 1-inch
Ew.
fucking, and that's not to say that people with small penises are evil. I'm just saying that they all do. Because there's some penises that are small that can do you wonders. But it's not just that. These Republicans have these small little cocks that are disgusting and smelly, but they don't even know how to use them. They don't even know how to stimulate their partner. So you're left with nothing.
Like Ben Shapiro can't get his wife wet. Yeah.
Yeah. People with small penises can get the job done very well. I have personal experience in the matter. If they know what they're doing. But these Republicans don't have big cocks, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So they got to get it right.
Okay, slay.
That's all I'm saying about this.
I love it. I live, laugh, love. What's new with the
Yeah.
gays? What's going on?
Every fucking faggot is using that AI generator image thing, and I'm
Okay, yeah.
over it.
What is this? Because
It's just already hot gay people having an excuse to post hot pictures of them.
okay.
And it's so stupid. It's
Now,
like look at
okay. Wait. Now, I don't think, and maybe this is because I live under a rock. Maybe it's because I've been binge playing Pokemon for the last week. I haven't seen any of these AI generated images. What is happening?
Honey,
What is going on?
do you okay, well I saw them on Twitter, I saw them on Instagram, and we share a Twitter.
Apparently, I've been too busy playing Pokemon to see what's going on.
All these gay people, and it's funny because I saw a post, and the post was like, I don't see any straight people using this, and I barely see any women using it. It's all these gay men using it.
Right.
And I think it might have to do with like gay men fascination with like an animated, drawn, masculine person. Who knows? But everyone and their faggot cousin is paying the $7 or $6 for this app called Lenza, which I think is like originally the app I think is for editing photos, like filtering them, like like beauty touch-ups and shit. But I think the idea is you give the app photos of yourself, and an AI generates photos of you that look like drawn, graphic, anime almost styled photos of you. AI generating, so it looks at a bunch of your shit. It goes, okay, I'm gonna put you in a spacesuit. I'm gonna put you in a field with a sword. I'm gonna make you look like a steampunk warrior. And it's all of these already attractive gay men going, oh my God, look how beautiful I am in
Look
AI.
how hot I am.
Look how hot this is. And there have been a few fails. I've seen them. They're kind of funny because the AI can't always get everything right. So it's like really strange. But they always post like, oh my God, look, it's so cool. Oh my God, I'm jumping on the train. I'm jumping on the AI. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And you know what? I'm not one to normally shit on people's fun. Like, do whatever you want to do. I don't really care. But it's just how, like, pervasive this got over a day. Like, it was, like, night and day. All of a sudden, everyone was doing it. And I was just like, it just seems so self-indulgent at some points. It's like, oh, I just want an excuse to post another like really attractive picture of me, and then I want to act surprised that it looks good. Bitch, look at the starting material. Of course the picture's good. You look good. You just want the adoration that comes from posting another hot picture of yourself, and then you act bashful like you didn't know the outcome.
I'm glad that I missed this fad, apparently.
It was so funny. I was talking to an acquaintance of mine, and he goes, send me a photo of you. I'm going to draw an AI version of you. And then he started accepting photos from his friends and pretending to be an AI and drawing like these crude ass images of us. And it was so fucking funny. And he said it best. He said something, I'm going to paraphrase. He was like, no one wants to see more fucking photos of you. Just show us your hole. Like, show us your hole.
Just show us the dick already.
And move on. I actually, objectively, I like the photos. And if it was like a free service, I would try it just because I like that sort of AI artistic render of it. Like, it looks like an anime thing almost. It looks like a hyper stylized, very like colorful, saturated photo. And it's cool, but it's like, I'm not paying for it. Ew. No, I'm paying for it.
How much did you say it was? $7? It seems like
$7, yeah. And I think that's a subscription, so it's a recurring $6 or $7. But I'm sure people just use it once.
It's like me. It would like it's like paying $8 a month to get a Twitter Grinder.
Oh wait, what?
To get the fucking Twitter check mark. What is it? $8 a month now to get the Twitter check mark? Why would I pay $8 for that? We weren't verified in the first place.
We don't deserve it. Honestly, we don't deserve it.
Oh my God. Hello. Anyway, other things that are new with the gays. What's going on? I saw that Heartstopper season 2 finished filming. I'm excited about that.
It did. I'm happy for them. I'm happy that I'm happy for them.
I'm happy for them.
I don't know.
Are you not happy about it? Are you excited for Heartstopper season 2?
I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I wonder where it's gonna, because I haven't read the source material, so I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope it continues to defy tropes. I mean, not defy them completely. There are some tropes, but everything has tropes. But I'm hoping it still subverts my expectations.
Yeah, great. And then I saw this other one thing that something I again don't really want to talk about. Apparently, this was either yesterday or the day before. There was a drag queen story time
Yeah.
that the like Proud Boys and all these other right-wing protesters showed up with like guns, and they're in like riot outfits or like camouflage outfits. I'm like, what? Who are these people? And
Proud to be
why are they
fucking
taking out of the
assholes.
why are they taking time out of their day to be annoying?
Proud to be fucking assholes. Proud to be ignorant cunts. Like, I don't I don't
This is
get
why I keep saying
it.
people are gonna keep getting hurt. Like,
Someone posted, they were like, what's more traumatizing? A child sitting in a room with a man dressed as a woman reading a book, or the child turning around looking outside and seeing people with like guns and shit?
yeah, and like yelling
What's
and
more
screaming.
traumatizing? Yeah, like what is more traumatizing? What's more confusing for a kid?
Oh my
Getting a
god.
book read to them or having people scream at them because they're getting a book read to them? Like, fuck off, Mary.
Good points. Good points. Anyway, I don't really feel like talking about this. So, I'm just gonna move on. Do you have any other what's new with the gays, or should I move on to frigid or spicy?
Well, I have something new with me.
What's new with you? Why didn't you tell me in the let's get personal section then?
Well, because we moved on so fast.
Okay, what's new with you?
I started playing. Jackie texted me twice. Oh no. I started playing the new God of War game, Ragnarok.
Oh, okay, slay.
Okay, so nothing
That's not
gay
what
in
I
it
thought you were
because
gonna say, but
I started fingering myself.
that's
No,
honestly not where I thought you were going with it. But
no. Although this game makes me want to finger myself, it's so good. So basically, God of War, not the original God of War that came out for like the PlayStation 2 forever ago. God of War, the PS4 version came out a few years ago. Perfect game. It got Game of the Year, I think, that year, or at
mm,
least it was given like 10 out of 10s. It was like considered a masterpiece. I loved it. I played that game. It's like a very pared down game compared to the previous ones in terms of like not even pared down. It's more focused on like the character development, the plot between a father and a son who are grieving the loss of the mother slash wife. Very sweet. Huge
mm-hmm.
combat, violent graphic kills, but that's like the main crux of the story. This game is the sequel, direct sequel. I'm excited. Father, son are still there, having to deal with like more family issues and shit. This game also reviewed perfectly. Tons of 10s out of 10s. People think it's going to get Game of the Year again. People think that it's
Nice.
that good. And I'm so happy because the first series was actually really good as well. But it was kind of just like, yeah, you're running around just slashing everything open. You're killing. There's a bunch of like titty women just out going, and you're just like ripping them in half, whatever.
Love
So
that.
like,
Okay.
it's very just like graphic and violent. And there was a plot there, but it was not anywhere near as engaging as the plot of these games. So I'm excited, and I was worried because I was like, this first game was so good. I will be so upset if the second one isn't as
Mm.
good. And I saw reviews. I was like, oh, thank God. And now I'm worried because I'm like, this arc is considered a 2 game arc, so it's done. They may make more, and I'm like, now I'm even more worried because I'm like, please don't fuck it up. I don't think they
Yeah.
will.
What if they
This
ruin it
guy,
by keep adding more to the story?
that's what I'm. That's why I like though, because they've taken years between these two. I'm hoping they take as long as they want.
Mm,
Don't
mm.
come back until you have something real to talk about. That's with any content. If you're writing content for a series, a book, a show, music, whatever, don't do it. I know everyone wants to do it for money. Like it's a big thing. Like, oh my God, this
Capitalism, you
series is
know.
really hot. Let's strike the metal while it's hot and make no. Don't. Don't fuck around because you'll find out real quick that you didn't do something good. Just wait. Wait until you have an amazing story, one that you really want to tell, something that's real that people will empathize with, and then do it.
Yeah.
So I
I
started
agree with
playing
you.
it and I love it. I love gay. No gay
Uh,
yet, but I hope something's gay in it.
Ram Ranch.
Ryan Branch. It's violent. It's beautiful. I got a PS5 just to play it because I needed one, and yeah,
Oh
so I'm in debt.
wow. Oh, stunning.
Done in.
Well, I'm happy for you. Let me know if you finger yourself during it. And
I'm
tell
just
me
gonna
how it
put
is.
the butt plug in and just sit.
Oh, okay. Work. Is that what you
I do
ordered
it
the
on the
other day?
podcast.
You what?
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 What? No, I did not order. Oh, you want to know what I ordered the other day? You're gonna read me on this
I
podcast?
I
I
didn't
ordered
say you
an
had to talk about
adult.
it. I just
I ordered an adult. I'm not gonna be specific. I ordered an adult product the other day,
yeah.
and well, actually it was like over a week ago now, and it's still not here. So I'm waiting.
Ah.
I'll have a review for the podcast.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it in not graphic detail, but we'll talk about it.
No, we'll see about that.
Great. Should we do some frigid or spicy while we're here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me open up my
Hole.
links.
I'm
Let
gonna
me
open up these
open
texts
up
from
my
Jackie.
hole.
I'm wondering what. Oh, it's she's talking. They're talking about Wednesday, the series.
Oh Jesus Christ! I these hot takes. Oh my God, I forgot all about them.
Okay, what is it?
Oh, sorry, the video paused there while I was pulling up the tweet.
Oh
Um,
my
uh,
God.
I'm sorry for those who are watching the video and things. Oh, it paused again. Can I
Oh my God.
Can this work? Can this? Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, ready? This is from Twitter user at one youngy k cows.
Okay, work.
Hot take: skinny shaming has become worse than fat shaming now.
I'm
Um,
gonna speak. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'm just gonna add additional context as well. You know what? I'm just gonna send you the tweet as well, so you could look at the images, because there's 4 images included with this tweet, and it's just about like bigger women like being confident about themselves. So like I don't know what this person is talking about here. I'm just gonna send it to you. You're gonna get it in our Discord momentarily. There, look, take a look at it.
Let's see. Let me see. Oh wait. Okay, it's opened up. Hot take: skinny shaming has become worse than fat shaming now. Things I love about being plus size, eating delicious without the irrational fear of feeling fat, having limited interest skinny, speed poker. Okay, okay, I saw it. Okay, do you want me to go first, or you go first? Do
Go
you want to go
ahead.
first?
Go first. Go ahead.
I am gonna speak from my experience as a gay cis white man
Okay,
who
lovely.
is
We all
skinny.
love hearing the experience
That
of
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone wants that opinion, but I can't give any opinion than the one I have, and I'm a skinny, slim person. I have never, ever experienced any sort of shame or detriment for being thin.
Right.
Never in my
Mhm.
I don't personally like being thin myself. I wish I was bigger, but I've never experienced anything negative. If anything, being thin is very helpful in this world because our society epitomizes thinness as one of the pillars of beauty.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not right, but our society does it. So you have pretty privilege in skinny privilege, basically. If
Yeah.
you're thinner, you are often perceived as more beautiful, more healthy. And the health thing is important too, because people don't like things that are unhealthy. So if you look healthier, quote unquote, people will probably like you more. So this skewed idea this person is portraying that skinny shaming has somehow gotten worse than fat shaming, I want to ask them, who's shaming you for being thin?
Yeah, and because I've seen actual like fat content creators talk about their fat shaming and the things that they experience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way a skinny person would ever, experience anything like this.
No. Yeah.
Discrimination in the medical field, discrimination when they're boarding transportation, discrimination in all these other places. I'm like, when is a skinny person
When you're
ever going to
buying
experience any of this?
clothes, when you're
Yes,
buying food, like when you're going to like theme parks or roller coaster rides, or you're,
yes, exactly.
you know, it's and I understand that in like in the gay community, which I can have an opinion on because I'm fag. Um,
I'm fag.
there is a beauty standard which isn't necessarily thin, like skinny thin. It's more lean but built thin. Like that's one of the beauty standards of gay men, particularly gay white men, in the gay community,
Ugh.
which is totally fine if you are that. But when you get very insidious with that sort of idea and then push it onto others, that's where I have a problem with it. So yes, I have even felt self-conscious in the gay community for being too thin, but I've never been shamed for it.
Yeah.
If this person feels self-conscious for being thin, that's their thing, and you can feel that. You can feel that if you want, but you're not being shamed for it.
Yeah.
I think they saw because the tweet had those images of basically just heavier people being very comfortable with their bodies, and they saw that as an attack. If someone else is
Interesting.
thriving and living their life, living their truth, that is not an attack on yours, which is the same thing as people who don't like gay marriage, don't like trans people, don't like non-binary people. They think drag queens, they think these people living and thriving and living their authentic lives is an attack on them
Oh yeah,
because
these
they
people just
probably feel
existing.
threatened that they could be so authentic while they are probably heavily repressed and can't be authentic. So they have to attack them or they feel shamed by them. Like, oh, you don't accept gay marriage? How dare you? And then they feel shamed because someone else is doing what they want, and
Oh
hurting
yeah,
no
I'm
one.
I'm a cis white man, heterosexual. I'm being oppressed by gay people being allowed to get married. Oh, I'm being oppressed by this drag queen doing a story hour at a library. My
Like, I'm a
God.
white person being oppressed by people of color for calling action to disproportionate amount of police violence against them. Like, fuck off, God.
So how would you rate
Ew.
this hot take?
Frigid on zero. This is fucking absolute zero. Minus 270 Kelvin or whatever the fuck minus zero is.
Yeah,
Ugh.
this is very frigid. This is the coldest take I think we've had. And I don't remember the other takes that we've had, but this is a very cold take.
This person needs to do self-reflection because I think it's insecurity and they're conflating insecurity with being shamed. Don't do that.
Don't do that. All right, here's the next one.
Yes.
Opening up, this is from Twitter user Much Nerve. Hot take that should be cold, but I think counting anal sex and oral sex as kinks is homophobic because it construes normal gay sex as deviant.
Who the fuck thinks anal sex is a kink? I mean, I guess straight people.
Straight people
I guess
might be like, I'm into anal. That's kinky, right?
I guess people who have vaginas, who are with people who have penises, may think anal sex is kinky because you have a vagina. It's kind of developed for insertive things.
Yeah, yeah.
But from what I've heard, from the straight people that I know, from the vagina wearers that have put it in their back door, they like it.
Oh,
I think
play.
I think this is good. I like this. Because it does sort of demonize sodomy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm sure there are
Now-
tons of straight people getting it in the back door, ramming it up, getting colonics and clearing out the pipes, getting some Drano down there.
Something being kinky also doesn't mean that it has to be demonized either.
Well, yes, yeah. Just because
It
something
could be
is
kink
maybe
positive.
a little, yeah, it's off brand because it's not the norm. Sure, like it's
Yeah.
not the usual fare you run into, but it doesn't mean it's bad.
I agree with this person, but I don't think because they're trying to say it's homophobic to think that these things are kinks. I think it's not homophobic. I think it's like I don't know. It's ignorant because these people
Yeah.
aren't considering that anal and oral sex is things that gay people do all the time. Whatever that people don't understand like gay people at all, which is typical for straight
Well,
people. I
and
don't
also
think it's
plenty of
necessarily
straight
homophobic
people-
though.
Straight people are be going down each other with their mouths, so it's not necessarily homophobic. Like I understand the anal aspect maybe being perceived as more homophobic because that's the primary mechanism by which gay men can have penetrative sex for sure.
Yeah.
But everyone's munching clit. And if you're not
Not
eating,
everybody
listen,
apparently. DJ
No,
Khaled.
listen. I have to. Okay, hold on. I gotta say, I want everyone to know that whatever sex you're doing, whatever specifics of sex you're doing with your partner or partners, as long as everyone's on board, who cares? If there's pain involved, if there's poop involved, if there's pee involved, if there's whips and chains, if the Rihanna is playing in the background, as long as everyone signed up for it, I think that's great, and that should be the only thing we care about. Is everyone consenting? Great.
And there's no
Because sometimes, yeah, yes, no, yes, thank you. No kids. Everyone's consenting and of age.
Of age, yeah.
And I won't even say no pain because some people do like pain. So as long as there's consent and no children, you're fine. But I will say this: go
Eat
down
pussy.
on your partner.
Eat pussy.
And eat ass. Eat pussy, eat ass, and eat dick. Just go down on your partner with your mouth. If they don't have the equipment, go down somewhere else. Like, just put your mouth places because the mouth is a great thing.
That tongue though, that tongue can do wonders. It can do wonders.
Isn't the tongue like the most like dexterous muscle you have because it can move in all sorts of ways?
I think the tongue is like, well, it's like pure muscle for one thing, but I think it has like the most muscle of like any part.
A muscle.
It's a muscle, but it's like the most muscly part of your body.
Yeah.
You know what? I never took an anatomy course. Do not listen to me.
Yeah,
I don't
clearly,
know if
because
this
you
is
thought
true.
the colon and the large intestine weren't the same thing.
Listen, don't drag me on our podcast. My God.
As a gay man, you really should have known they were the same.
Listen, I just
But
didn't
this
know
is-
that that's what it was called. God.
I don't like that homophobic aspect of the take, but I do think that there is something there. They're
Yeah,
getting to it. They just haven't really crystallized
yeah,
what the real thing is. So I'll say that was a 4. Like it was like kind of hot. It's
kind of
kind of getting
hot.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not like lukewarm, it's warm.
I'm gonna give it like a 3. I think
Mm.
that's closer to like lukewarm or
Yeah,
like
you're
just like
mid.
mid. Yeah, it's like a mid
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, last hot take. This is by a Twitter user at Barra Mo Bitch. Uh,
Sure. Sure. Why
okay,
not?
this is hot take, and then it's 3 images. It's Larry from Pokemon is greater than the Professor Turo.
Oh, Larry.
Larry, the gym leader.
Okay. Well, yeah. I think Professor Turo, a lot of people jumped on his dick because of the fact that he's like super like angular. He's got the shaved sides, he's got the like the coiffed sort of parted hair on top. He looks sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like a gay man, basically. But Larry's real.
Larry's a mood, honestly. Like he's a
Larry
mood.
is a mood. Like Professor Turo, spoiler alert, we already said it, isn't even alive. That's just a robot. So like he's
It's an
so
AI.
emotionless. You want to be with an emotionless man? Well, that's an oxymoron. All men are emotionless. But you want to be with a robot, which is basically just an emotionless man? Get out of here. Larry, he might not have great emotions,
Another
but
emotionless man.
he's expressing the emotion we can all vibe with. I hate going to work.
Honestly, he's like, oh, time to do my day job again.
He's an exhausted everyday man, and honestly,
Honestly,
he's
I
got
vibe
those
with
little
him.
sunken eyes, the messy hair. I would fuck him. Because he's not going to want to do anything because he's tired. He wants to just kind of lay down and have
Oh
like, he's
yeah,
like,
you have your way with him, but
yeah,
he'll just lay there
yeah.
and
He'll be consenting.
yeah, he won't be asleep. He'll be
No,
consenting.
no, he'll be consenting because he'll be like, yeah, I need this. I need this after a long day of work. And I'm like, all right, let me put my mouth on it. And that's it. Yeah, I like this. They're right. It's a 5. It's hot.
Okay,
Because it's kind of, I would have given it a 6. No, I would have given it, no, it's a 4. It's hot.
yeah,
It's
it's
not like
hot.
a perfect 5 if it's out of 5. It's not a perfect score because it's so obvious to me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm also gonna give it a 4 because Larry's a
Yeah.
vibe.
Larry is a, were you gagged when Larry showed up in the Elite
In
Four?
the Elite Four, I was like, Larry, what are you doing here?
Because they were like, bring out the next one. And I was like, we haven't met the other one yet. It's just fucking Larry. And I was like,
I thought it was funny. I honestly thought it was
I
funny.
liked it. I thought, see that I want Pokemon to subvert my expectations, and that was one of the ways to subvert my expectations.
He's just like, oh yeah, I use flying type when I'm here. It's part of
Yeah,
my job.
and then like the whole thing with the professor being dead, subvert my expectations. Give me something I did not expect.
The professor, he was dead.
The
He
entire
died.
he been dead. He been dead.
Yeah, and he was a terrible father, and he died, so he deserved it.
Oh, not only was this bitch a terrible father, but he was hell bent on the time machine staying open and
Oh yeah,
fucking with
oh
the
yeah.
present. So like even when the AI was like, no, 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 he had something wrong, the machine was like, no, 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 you're gonna follow this programming because that's what the original professor wanted. Like terrible father, terrible person.
Terrible maniac,
A
basically.
maniac. Like Team Star wasn't even that bad. Team Star was just a group of people who were bullied who went against their bullies in a non-violent way and got their way and then were penalized for it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But see, that's how they subvert your expectations. They make the professor who's always been the good guy a fucking crazy maniac
Oh, the
who was a terrible
professor.
father
I
and
get.
dead.
I guess at the end of the day, the professor was the
The
final. Like he
villain.
was the villain. Yeah.
Am I the
Am I
drama?
the drama? I don't
Am
think
I the
the
villain?
original professor, not the AI, because the AI was like, I know this is wrong.
Oh yeah,
The
the AI
original
learned.
professor was
Yeah.
the true enemy and a terrible father. Oh my god, they
So
really
here's
did subvert the expectations, didn't they?
They did. Here's my question. So in Pokemon Scarlet, it's a female professor, which I assume is Arvin's mother.
Oh, good point. You know what? Yeah, I guess so.
So like, what's his mom doing in the Violet, and what's his dad doing in Scarlet?
Oh, stunning. Good
Oh,
question.
stunning! Also, like, the mom. like I hope that in Scarlet, Professor Turo exists, but he's not the professor. He's just like Dad Turo, but he looks the same. And I hope in Violet, Professor whatever isn't the professor, but looks the same because the mom in Scarlet is hot.
Oh, they're both attractive. Like their avatars are attractive.
Turo is sort of like the stereotypical man. I don't give a shit.
Ah.
The female professor, whatever her name is, she's got a big upper body. She's got those tits. She's got like a skirt. I think she's got like the sort. You see some cleavage.
Sound like
I'm
a straight
sure
man.
She's great.
Check out those knockers.
She's not to objectify her. She's also a brilliant scientist who created a time machine who is dead. But you know.
Well, that's what I'm assuming the storylines mirror each other, and I'm assuming this woman is dead again, and she's an AI at the end. The same thing. That's what I'm assuming. I should look it up or ask one of our friends who has Scarlet. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's true. I have to figure this out now. This is good. This is my new motivation to look up more about Pokemon lore.
Back to Normani.
I don't know what you're saying.
Normani, the woman who wrote the song Motivation.
Oh my God.
We talked at the beginning of the pod.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry.
Time is a circle, and we go back to the beginning.
Okay. That's it. I don't have any more. There's no more hot takes.
You're all drained out.
I'm all drained out. Should we end the podcast?
I mean, like forever?
No. No. I mean for right now.
Well, sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening or watching this episode of the What the Gays Thing podcast. If you want to get all of our updates and stuff, you want to keep up to date with us, go ahead and follow our Twitter at WDTGT podcast, while our Twitter is still there at least. And if you want to follow us on Twitch, where we stream every Monday and Thursday currently, our stream is What Do the Gamers Think? GAYMERS. You can find the link in the description as well. Or if you want to join our Discord, where we sometimes chat about other things outside of the podcast and outside of our Twitch, you could join it by clicking the link in the description. Our Discord is Pride Empire. And that is it. And I am Mac Lubeck.
And I'm Kratos from God of War. Long gay.
Okay.
He's not gay. He's had many wives. Bye.